Welcome to the Wednesday edition of Liberty Lunch Break from Off the Wire, the topic du jour. So, what is the topic du jour? The dogs of Chernobyl are experiencing rapid evolution, study suggests. So, this ought to be very freaking interesting and fun. Before we get started, if you want to help carry this extraordinary message of this concept that we call liberty, then please like, share, subscribe on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Also, please do the same and leave me a 5-star review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and basically anywhere you can find your podcast. If you want to elevate your business or your brand by being a sponsor on the show, then we have several packages that are all cheap and guaranteed to help you. I would love your support, and I would love to support you. So let me know. Now, let's get into it. Absolutely incredible. This is from popularmechanics.com. The dogs of Chernobyl are experiencing rapid evolution, study suggests. On April 26, 1986, the Chernobyl nuclear reactor in northern Ukraine, then part of the Soviet Union, exploded. Now, what does that remind me of? I hope it reminds you of this very excellent clip from this amazing movie. Let's watch.
Let's go. Come on. Sam, come on. Let's go, Sam! No, let's go! We gotta go home, Sam. Let's go.
Love it. Great movie. Great movie. Go watch that if you haven't seen it. I'm sure that you have. Excellent, excellent zombie movie. Look, what do you want me to say? Right? Really. Like, the dogs of Chernobyl are experiencing rapid evolution. How would my mind not instinctively gravitate towards that movie? Explain that. Anyway, it's just fun. It's just fun. So, nearly 4 decades later, the Chernobyl power plant and many parts of the surrounding area remain uninhabited, by humans at least. Animals of all kinds have thrived in humanity's absence. So you already know where this is going to head. You already know where this is gravitating towards in a rapid fashion, or at least it should. Depopulation. That would be it. Anyway, there's not a whole lot of mention of that in here, but let's keep going. Let me not commentate as much as I always do, although I'm going to do my thing. And thank you for joining. You guys are amazing. This freaking show is blowing up. It's wild to me. Wild. All right. Living among radiation-resistant fauna are thousands of feral dogs, many of whom are descendants of pets left behind in the speedy evacuation of the area so many years ago. As the world's greatest nuclear disaster approaches its 40th anniversary, biologists are now taking a closer look at the animals located inside the Chernobyl exclusion zone. That's going to be referred to many times later in the article as CEZ, Chernobyl's exclusionary zone, or exclusive. Let me check it again. Yeah, no, both wrong. Exclusion zone, but all the same variations of that word etymologically, which is about the size of Yosemite National Park, and investigating how decades of radiation exposure may have altered animals' genomes and even possibly sped up evolution. This is getting wild, right? Like, between AI and this, what an amazing time to be alive. Like, for real. It's horrifyingly terrible a lot of the times. But man, what a great time to be alive, despite the impending potential nightmarish outcomes that may result from these experiments, which is about the I said that I got to get away from my own dialogue here, interpreting the context, and get back to the article. My apologies. Scientists from the University of South Carolina and the National Human Genome Research Institute have begun examining the DNA of 302 feral dogs found in or around the CEZ, the Chernobyl exclusion zone, to better understand how radiation may have altered their genomes, which basically they're just DNA, their genetic makeup. Their results were published in the journal Science Advances earlier this month. By the way, popularmechanics.com for April 1st. So just a few days ago, the dogs of Chernobyl are experiencing rapid evolution, study suggests. Also, they're not alluding to the fact that this is completely due to radiation poisoning. But how are they going to know, right? Like, how are you going to know? There's no possible way we can actually anticipate whether or not this is due to radiation poison exclusively, or the environment, or an attribution of all of the factors involved. Which, to me, if you're going to logically deduce scientifically specifically, then obviously all of the factors involved should be included, and this should be the obvious conclusion of your logical reasoning. Right? I mean, let's take a few account of factors here and account a few of the factors. Radiation poisoning, worst nuclear disaster ever. No humans. No sort of deviation from natural human interaction into the society, or into the environment, should I say. Not society, because society involves human beings, but into the environment. So if you take all of these factors and rightfully so convolute them to extrapolate one, deduction of mathematical and scientific reasoning, then obviously we should all come to the logical conclusion that clearly this is an escalation due to those very specific factors involved in this scenario. Let's keep reading. Got to find out where I left off. My apologies. All right. Quote, do they have mutations that they've acquired that allow them to live and breed successfully in this region? End quote. Co-author Elaine Ostrander, a dog genomics expert at the National Human Genome Research Institute, told the New York Times, quote, what challenges do they face and how have they coped genetically? The idea of radiation speeding up natural evolution isn't a new one. The practice of purposefully irradiating seeds in outer space to induce advantageous mutations, for example, is now a well-worn method of developing crops well suited for a warming world. These people are cultists. This is the problem when you have intellectual cultists, right? They will convolute all of the aspects involved. North, south, west, east. They'll give you some truth. They'll give you some factual evidence and some factual information. But then they will also give you all of the propaganda involved in order to push their freaking narrative. Their specific narrative that they want. That's what they're going to do. It's called lying with statistics. Lying with statistics. Sorry. Just got out of the shower and just brushed my teeth. I did it again. My bad, y'all. I keep sucking up the snot in my nose into the microphone. My apologies. I will learn to do better. It is April in South Mississippi. The allergies are off the charts. All right, let's get back to this right here. That's more important. Oh, man. Scientists have been analyzing certain animals living within the Chernobyl exclusion zone, CEZ, for years, including bacteria, which are usually a green color, were more commonly black within the CEZ. The biologists theorized that the frogs experienced a beneficial mutation in melanin. That's racist. You leftists, you progressives, you're just blatant racist now. I got the evidence. Let's keep going. One study scientists have been analyzing certain animals living within the CEZ for years, including bacteria, rodents, and even birds. One study back in 2016 found that eastern tree frogs, Hyla orientalis, which are usually a green color, were more commonly black within the CEZ. The biologists theorized that frogs experienced a beneficial mutation in melanin, pigments responsible for skin color. That helped ionize the surrounding radiation. This made scientists ponder: could something similar be happening to Chernobyl's wild dogs? You think? This new study uncovered that the feral dogs living near the Chernobyl power plant showed distinct genetic differences from dogs living only some 10 miles away and nearby. My gosh, I can't read. Chernobyl City. While this may seem to heavily imply that these dogs have undergone some type of rapid mutation or evolution due to radiation exposure, this study is only a first step in proving that hypothesis. One environmental scientist speaking with Science News says that these studies can be tricky business, largely due to the fact that they're sussing out radiation-induced mutations from other effects, like inbreeding. And that's incredibly difficult. What do you mean? Like we don't have a control group study for this? Come on, get real. We obviously have the entire planet for control studies for this. Take the same species of dogs, let them be feral. They don't have to be feral, right? They absolutely don't have to be feral. You might get a different variation of some sort of outcome if they are feral versus domesticated, slightly by the most insignificant margins. Use the control study group. If it's 10 times or whatever the article cited, then we know, obviously, the several factors involved have the major implications. So let's just toss out the human element to the equation, because we're here and we're going to continue to do so. And we're going to continue to populate the planet. So toss that out. And let's focus on the radiation poisoning, which is obviously making these dogs in their mutation genetic process evolve much faster than we've ever seen whatsoever. Clearly. And don't stop with the dogs. Let's get all sorts of animal species and from all over the map. Amphibians, aquatics, mammals, all of the above species, Homo sapiens, all of that. Well, I'm sorry. Well, don't do the humans. Do not send humans into Chernobyl to find out what the radiation is going to do to them genetically. Do not do that. My bad. Spoke a little quickly. That's funny. Oh, man. All right. However, this study provides a template for further investigation into the effects of radiation or larger mammals. Very good. Keep going. Obviously, there aren't just feral dogs in the area. Man. As the DNA of dogs roaming the Chernobyl power plant and nearby Chernobyl City can be compared to dogs living in non-irradiated areas. Despite a current lack of firm conclusions, the study has shown once again that an area that, by all rights, should be a wasteland has become an unparalleled scientific opportunity to understand radiation and its impact on natural evolution. So, yes, get ready. Here comes the zombie apocalypse. I'm half joking. I just like I like these midday shows to have fun and talk about obscure stuff that, the culture driven media. And I'm all for the culture fight. Believe me, politics is downstream of culture. So you got culture and you got politics. We are not a nation of law and order. We never have been. We never will be. We are a nation of political will. And that political will is 100% determined by the culture. So I'm all for that. But I do believe that having these fun segments and these episodes are very important. Very important. Not just for the scientific analysis because of them, but also because it's a mind relaxer to a certain degree. You know, it's fun to talk about, is what I mean. And we need more of that. We need more of that. And we need more of each other talking to each other in the community. Period. Point blank. Full stop. So we'll leave it right there. Don't forget, if you want to help carry this extraordinary message of liberty, then like, share, sub, all that crap. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Please sub there and share all of it. Share all of it. Let's have some fun. Let's get our community back going. This show is growing exponentially, especially on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. So please leave me a 5-star review. We'll leave it right there, and I will see you tomorrow at noon Central. Also, don't forget that on Thursday, tomorrow at 6 Central, we will be live and would love your audience and your commentary in the comment section. It is greatly appreciated. I love each and every one of you, and I am